In this video, we delve into the final segment of Chapter 1 of the ICAO Annex 2. Join us as we explore the foundational terms and concepts that form the bedrock of aviation knowledge. Whether you're looking to refresh your understanding or are eager to learn more, this video is the perfect opportunity. Don't miss out. Watch now and elevate your aviation expertise. Movement area. That part of an aerodrome to be used for the takeoff, landing, and taxiing of aircraft, consisting of the maneuvering area and the apron. Pilot in command. The pilot designated by the operator, or in the case of general aviation, the owner, as being in command and charged with the safe conduct of flight. Pressure altitude. An atmospheric pressure expressed in terms of altitude which corresponds to that pressure in the standard atmosphere. Problematic use of substances. The use of one or more psychoactive substances by aviation personnel in a way that a. constitutes a direct hazard to the use or endangers the lives, health, or welfare of others, and or the second one, which is B, causes or worsen an occupational, social, mental, or physical problem or disorder. Prohibited area. An airspace of defined dimensions above the land areas or territorial waters of a state, within which the flight of aircraft is prohibited. Psychoactive substances, alcohol, opioids, cannabinoids, sedatives and hypnotics, cocaine, other psychostimulants, hallucinogens, and volatile solvents, whereas coffee and tobacco are excluded. Radiotelephony, a form of radio communication primarily intended for the exchange of information in the form of speech. Repetitive Flight Plan, RPL. A flight plan related to a series of frequently recurring, regularly operated individual flights with identical basic features, submitted by an operator for retention and repetitive use by ATS units. Reporting point. A specified geographic location in relation to which the position of an aircraft can be reported. Restricted area. An airspace of defined dimensions above the land areas or territorial water of a state, within which the flight of aircraft is restricted in accordance with certain specified conditions. Runway. A defined rectangular area on a land aerodrome prepared for the landing and takeoff of aircraft. Runway-holding position. A designated position intended to protect a runway, an obstacle limitation surface, or an ILS or MLS, critical or sensitive area at which taxiing aircraft and vehicles shape a stop and hold, unless otherwise authorized by the aerodrome control tower. There is a note. In radiotelephony phraseologies, the expression holding point is used to designate the runway holding position. Safety-sensitive personnel. Persons who might endanger aviation safety if they perform their duties and functions improperly, including, but not limited to, crew members, aircraft maintenance personnel, and air traffic controllers. If you're finding value in these tutorials, show your support by hitting like, subscribe, and sharing with your friends. Your engagement helps us grow and continue providing quality content. Thank you for watching. Let's keep going. Signal area. An area on an aerodrome used for the display of ground signals. A special VFR flight. A VFR flight cleared by air traffic control to operate within a control zone in meteorological condition below VMC. Taxiing. Movement of an aircraft on the surface of an aerodrome under its own power, excluding takeoff and landing. Taxiway. A defined path on a land aerodrome established for the taxiing of aircraft and intended to provide a link between one part of the aerodrome and another, including A. Aircraft stand taxi lane, a portion of an apron designated as a taxiway and intended to provide access to aircraft stands only. Apron taxiway, a portion of a taxiway system located on an apron and intended to provide a through taxi route across the apron. Rapid exit taxiway, a taxiway connected to a runway at an accurate angle and designated to allow landing aeroplanes to turn off at higher speed than are achieved on other exit taxiways, thereby minimizing runway occupancy times. Terminal control area, a control area normally established at the confluence of ATS routes in the vicinity of one or more major aerodromes. Total estimated elapsed time. For IFR flights, the estimated time required from takeoff to arrive over designated point, defined by reference to navigation aids, from which it is intended that an instrument approach procedure will be commenced, or if no navigation aid is associated with the destination aerodrome, to arrive over the destination aerodrome. For VFR flights, the estimated time required from takeoff to arrive over destination aerodrome. Track, the projection on the Earth's surface of the path of an aircraft, the direction of which path at any point is usually expressed in degrees from north, true, magnetic or grid. Traffic avoidance advice. This is advice provided by an air traffic services unit specifying maneuvers to assist a pilot to avoid a collision. Traffic information. Information issued by an air traffic services unit to alert a pilot to other known or observed air traffic which may be in proximity to the position or intended route of flight and to help the pilot avoid a collision. Transition altitude. The altitude at or below which the vertical position of an aircraft is controlled by reference to altitudes. Unmanned free balloon, a non-power driven, unmanned, lighter-than-air aircraft in free flight. There is a note: unmanned free balloons are classified as heavy, medium, or light in accordance with the specification contained in Appendix 4. VFR, the symbol used to designate the visual flight rules. VFR flight, a flight conducted in accordance with the visual flight rules. What is the visibility? Visibility for aeronautical purposes is the greater of A. The greatest distance at which a black object of substantial dimensions situated near the ground can be seen and recognized when observed against a bright background. The greatest distance at which lights in the vicinity of 1000 candles can be seen and identified against an unlit background. We have two notes. The first note says the two distances have different values in air of a given coefficient, and the later B varies with the background illumination. The former A is represented by the meteorological optical range MOR, and also the second note announced that the definition applies to the observation of visibility in local routine and special reports, to the observation of prevailing and minimum visibility reported in METAR and SPECI, and to the observations of ground visibility. Visual meteorological conditions. Meteorological conditions expressed in terms of visibility, distance from clouds and ceiling, equal to or better than specified minima. We noted that the specified minima are contained in Chapter 4 of this document, and the last definition of the first chapter of this document, VMC, the symbol used to designate visual meteorological conditions. Thanks for watching this video till the end. Have a nice flight.